Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. So, questions. Given large variations in conventions of morality across cultures, salvation. Whose question is this? Yours. See, the common sense dharma is this, that, and which nobody needs to be taught. Nobody needs to be taught about this common sense thing. That just as I want to be happy, I want to live happily, and I don't want anyone to hurt me without any rhyme or reason. Similarly, others also expect the same from me. When I violate this right of everyone, that they want to live happily, if I violate this rule, if I, if I take away this right of living happily, then I am committing a crime. And for that, my heart itself will keep on murmuring all the time that I have done something wrong, I cannot escape that. I may have done that for certain things, but in the end, I wind up creating this guilt in me. Others may or may not notice this, but I am not happy. My peace of mind is definitely disturbed. So, this is going against dharma. And sooner or later, I will have to pay for it. I have no business to kill anyone. Yes, of course, if you are in a battlefield and in protecting dharma, if you do that, that's another thing. But for my interest, I cannot judge that just because they are not following this, they are not following my dharma, etc., as you have asked, I cannot kill them. I cannot hurt them. Everybody has freedom to choose and follow whatever they like. So that will be going against ethics and morality. Whoever is performing this, maybe in the name of dharma also, but it is wrong. Because just as I have freedom to follow my thing, others also have right to do that. So it cannot go in the name of dharma. Dharma is that, which holds the creation, which is the basis for the order in creation. Any action, if by that I am disturbing the order of the creation, then it is adharma. So one should conduct one's life in such a manner that I don't disturb that. And I cannot go away with impunity by disturbing that. In some or the other way, I will pay the price. I will have to pay for it. Maybe not now, later on, when that Ishvara decides. But it does happen. So, you get the answer of your question?
Yeah, I think. Thank you. It does answer the question. The only other follow-up, though, is for people who are disturbing the order of creation, however, they've somehow either come from a culture that's brainwashed them into thinking that what they are doing is good, is right. How does that karmically register?
It is being registered.
It is.
It is bound to be registered.
Okay.
Because otherwise there is lacuna in the format of the creation. It is bound to be there.
So then how do people get out of gray
We think
area?
that they are getting away.
Yeah.
We think they are getting away, but they are not getting away.
No, sorry. I mean, how do we all get out of the gray area? Sometimes where we're not sure if something is dharmic or adharmic at the time of doing the action. Later we might know because it doesn't sit well, and then we'll know it's adharmic. But how about before we do it, if there's a little bit of gray area?
Yeah. If you feel that you don't find an answer on your own, that this is a gray area, then you can always consult someone who knows about this, who can help you find out whether it is right or wrong. Plus, common thing is this, that we can get into this by thinking that what would I have done if I were in the place of this. When you put yourself in the place of someone who is going through that, then we can many times make out. And yes, there are people who may mislead you because they themselves are not clear. Plus, they may have their own vested interests also. Misunderstanding about what dharma is, what humanity is. Humanity doesn't allow you. Their understanding of dharma may be, may be distorted. Dharma will not tell you to commit violence, to kill people, to subject them to all kinds of things. Dharma, which dharma says that? And that is not dharma. When you cannot see the pain of others, that is not dharma. On one hand, we are learning this, that Atma is everywhere. Is Atma not there? We will even say that Atma is there in everything. So, just by the name of Dharma, we are not supposed to hate people. Hate those who are following some other dharma or way of life which is different from mine. So here comes tolerance also. Even if we don't understand, but we put up, then half of the problems will be less. There is lot of intolerance in the name of dharma. Lot of, it's called asahishnuta. You can't tolerate. We have no business. So this has to be understood. And ask your own heart, what would I do if I was in this place? So it is very easy to expect from others that they follow dharma. But am I? Am I doing that? When it comes to our own life, we find it difficult. So we try to understand, sympathize, understand. And that will only be, when we put ourselves in that condition. Then we will understand. At least be sympathetic.
Thank you.
When we follow dharma, does that mean our mind is going to be pure? If you follow dharma all the time, so that will lead to sattvic mind?
Yes, it will. Why? Because dharma is nothing but Ishvara. Dharma, the laws of dharma, like values, all the satyam, ahimsa, non-violence, then forgiving, all this is nothing but Ishvara only. And when you follow this, in fact, you are closer to Ishvara, closer to your Atma. Because following that, all these dharmas, values also. We may not use the word dharma, but values, truth, non-violence, love, accommodation, all this all these are enjoined or recommended, keeping in mind the order of the creation. These are the things which maintain the creation. Dharana dharma. This is the definition of dharma. That which upholds. The creation is dharma. And that is why Lord Krishna says that whenever this happens, then I take avatara. That is his famous statement. Why? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati. Whenever dharma goes in background in the sense, it is not being respected, people find it hard to follow, and therefore they throw it out and do whatever they want. And when this increases and crosses a boundary, then Bhagavan has to come. So Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Kauravas, they were all atatais. Atatais means they had committed all kinds of sins. All kinds of sins were committed. They were not, it was impossible to control them. So, dharma, to protect, because when you protect dharma, you protect the creation. And Bhagavan has created this, he naturally wants to maintain it. Maintaining the law and order. Government will take action when the law and order are not maintained. You just cannot let it go. Let it loose. Similarly, Ishvara is the ruler. So whenever dharma becomes predominant, then something or the other will happen. And that is being sattvika. It is safe. Life of dharma is being sattvika. Because to follow dharma is not easy. It is hard. It is twisted path, uphill task. It is uphill. Because the tendency is to go down. It is our tendency to go towards tamas, laziness, inertia. If we get things easily, we will not work for it. So we take shortcuts, try to take shortcuts in everything. Business, this, that, because that is easy. But that may appear easy, but in the long run it is painful. In the long run, I am preparing that ground of unhappiness for me. Whereas sattvic path is that which appears difficult in the beginning, but in the long run, it is pleasant. It is difficult in the beginning. To give a simple example, to get up early in the morning is very difficult. But once you get up, then you enjoy that time, that piousness at that time, purity. You can take Ishvara's name, meditate, do all your work. There's nothing like morning time. But getting up is a big problem. But once you get up, then in the end it's going to be very good. Similarly, Sattvic path is difficult in the beginning, but in the end very, very pleasant. Nothing like it. And the path of Tamas and Rajas in the beginning looks very good. But in the end, they result in pain. So the people who follow Dharma are curbing and trying to control. Not easy, but there's certain impulses and everything is being controlled. They are trying to get mastery over that. Not easy, because the tendency of the sense organs and the mind is to pursue the objects. And you don't want to do that, you don't want to allow that. So you have to exert that control. Not everyone can do that. For that you require inner strength. But more you do, more strength you get. And that is also sattvic joy. That joy is, because then you develop respect for yourself. You like yourself. When you do wrong, you don't like yourself. Before others condemn you, you yourself condemn yourself. You lose self-esteem in your own eyes. See, we demand respect from people because we don't respect ourselves. We don't respect ourselves because we know what all we are doing. We know that. We say one thing, do another thing, think another thing, speak another thing. Action may be all together different. Others may not know. From others I hide. But I cannot hide it from myself. And so inside that conscience then say, wrong, wrong. Even Duryodhana said that. I know that I am doing wrong, but I can't stop myself. He says, I know what is dharma, but I can't follow. I know what is adharma, but I can't resist it. He says, I can't resist adharma. Because that lower tendency in me forces me to do this. And I give in. When can you give in? When will you give in? When you have no control. See, sometimes we say, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean to say this. I didn't mean to lose my anger, but I lost it. Which means what? I have no control on myself, over myself. That is why it happens, no? Otherwise, why will it happen? It happens. We don't do it. We don't do. We don't get angry. Anger takes over us. Anger takes over us. It doesn't ask our permission. It just comes out. And even if we can stop it, control it before it comes out, then also we have won the game. Then also we have won it. That is yoga, big yoga. Lord Krishna says that one who can control it is a yogi, who doesn't allow it to get expressed, because once it gets expressed, the harm will be done. Harm is done. You may repent it later, but at that time it is done. Try to make up for that afterwards, nothing wrong. But you lost control. So, we don't have a say over our own selves. We think that we cannot control people. Nobody listens to me. But we don't listen to ourselves. Are you listening to yourself? We may think that nobody listens to me. I'm telling, but they are not listening. But listen to that power also we don't have sometimes. So that is Sattvic path. That we keep on working hard with ourselves. Transform if we find that our Prakriti, our Swabhava needs to be mended, needs to be changed, then we do it. It is hard work, very hard work. Not easy, huh? Not easy. But then that is success. That is success. People say that other things are success. What goes by the name of success in the world is to have power and position and name and fame and money and wealth and this. All that is success, not easy. I will not say that it is not success. But main success is this. You have all that, but if you are not happy, you have all that, but you have your swabhava is such that people run away from you. Your wife is afraid of you. Your children are afraid of you. Your employees are afraid of you. Moment you speak, then people become unhappy. What kind of success is that? So, first level of success is what? Control over oneself. Mastery over oneself. Mastery. Very important. Mastery over mind. That is more important. That is very important, without my permission, no wrong thought should come. I will not entertain it. No thought of himsa, no thought of untruth, no thought of hating, all this. It's a big thing, very big thing.
Thank you, Swamini. One more question, Swamini. We know that we have 4 Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. So Dharma and then Moksha, if we talk about, looks like Dharma is the necessary condition for the Moksha. Looks like we need the base, Dharma. Then if we go to Moksha, we have additional qualification needed like Shravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. So Moksha is, then we talk about Shravanam, then Mananam is at least we have to do 10 times more than Shravanam. More effort is needed. Then Nididhyasanam is much more higher level.
No, not that.
Okay.
All 3 can be same. All 3 should combine. It's not that one should be more than other. No, not. See, everybody has to decide on their own. Listening, we will talk about it tomorrow. That will come in our talk. But Shravanam is the time when all your notions are getting dropped. Ignorance of the nature of the self is getting dropped. And you come to know what the Shastra is trying to tell you. Tatparya, the purport, you come to know. But then there may be many things may not be clear still. So the need for mananam, not that it should be 10 times more, not necessarily. Yeah, if the need be, okay, it is all need based. Similarly, if I am not able to get over the habitual errors, I am Atma, I know, but still I feel that I am a woman, then that habitual error has to be removed by sitting with myself and again telling myself, I am not this, not this, not this. So that is practicing and removing each and every notion which are obstructing me in abiding, in understanding. So all 3, are important. We cannot compartmentalize this for some time, this. No, all three. And Mananam, if not required, but actually, while listening also, Mananam is taking place. When we are listening to the teacher, then simultaneously we are also thinking. But the benefit is that teacher is doing all the work. And we go along with them. But then when there are doubts, then we can ask, we carry out the Mananam, go back. So Mananam, is extension of Shravanam. Extension. But I do it myself. But according to my need, my problems, importance should be given.
Thank you, Swamini.
Good evening. We were talking about sannyasa. Now, are the gridis allowed to take sannyasa? If they are allowed, then what are the basis or the conditions for that? Because no household is going to allow
No?
household is going to allow
No.
household or no house, no family. No family is going to allow a house lady to take sannyasa. So how to overcome that, or are they allowed to take sannyasa?
As I said, nowadays this is even some ladies take, even household ladies also take. If the husband doesn't mind, and of course their concurrence is required.
Achha.
And many times, if they are like-minded people, and if he doesn't mind, you go, you make your progress, then there is nothing wrong. It is all subjective.
Okay.
So, I know many women, happily their husbands have given them permission, and they are doing it.
So
Yes, it is difficult for a woman, but if she wants it, she can. If proper planning is there, you have made some provision for yourself, and then ultimately you have to have Shraddha upon Ishvara. But I will say that if at home there is no problem,
that's what I want to say.
and see, that is why one has to be it's not that one has to take. But at home also, if you find that congenial atmosphere, then there is, you can very well do this sadhana at home.
Be a sannyasi, being in the family. Be a sannyasi, being in the family itself.
Yes, but you have to be very honest about it. Yes, you can. One can do it. You have to be sincere. Because once you are in home, then as I said, some compulsions are there.
Yeah.
So you may have to adjust. But if you can do your sadhana, staying at home, nothing wrong. Best is that. And this is also, all this is, different with different people. We should understand our mind, our conditions, our people. And supposing at a certain age, say if you have already crossed 60, 65, 70, then there is no point in then going. Because in old age, to put up with all those things may not be that easy. So be practical. Because at that age, if you take sannyasa, and then to live that life, to look after yourself, may not be that easy. I know some people, it becomes very difficult afterwards because so used to people taking care of them at home and all that. And then suddenly
they are neither here nor there.
Without taking into consideration certain practicality, if you then it becomes difficult. You're so used to wife and children and taking care of you. So we must know ourselves and work with ourselves. We know what suits us best. And take everybody in consideration. Take their cooperation. And once people see that you are sincere, in the beginning, perhaps they may resist. They may not cooperate. But when they see that you are sincere, you mean to go ahead on this path, then the help comes. Help will definitely come. They will also change. They are bound to change. And if not, then maybe in some cases, it may be there in prarabdha so it may not, but our sincerity will reach. Our sincerity reaches. So we should work upon that and pray.
So best thing will be to stay in the home and then
Yes. This is all Bhashyakara was talking about, the Brahmanas and such an important person and all that. But at this age and all that, sannyasa need not be taken. At home also we can live that life. And be very sincere in doing what we are doing.
No, I was not talking for myself and all, but just
I
was
know.
curious to know.
I know.
So I think the best will be stay at home and give some particular timings to that and then do the sadhanas or whatever it is. I think so.
Yeah. Pursue the Shravanam, Mananam, Nitidhyasanam. You can do at home. Or in between, take some time off. Take a long vacation, go someplace.
Oh, that is
you can do that also.
Yeah.
So you can have quality time with yourself. No disturbance. Do what you want to do. And if we are sincere, things will fall in place. This is the only best way. If we are sincere. Because in this journey, we are not alone. Ishvara is there with us. He is there. If our Vishwasa is there, Shraddha is there, then I think need not worry, things will happen. Whether you are at home or outside. It is all very subjective.
Yeah, that is true.
At young age, fine if you want to live that life, and you can go. But at old age, it's not very practical. After a certain time, it's not an easy life. It is difficult in the sense, the comfort of home is not there. The warmth of home is not there. Definitely. Home means all. People are there to ask you, how are you? How are you feeling? What will you like to have? When we are sick, people will come and ask you, press your legs. Everything, all this is there. They will not be afterwards. So all that strength has to be there. You know? Be practical. In this, no competition, no comparison, nothing.
Problem is that when you fix your own timings and then stay for doing something, at that time only somebody comes, and at that time only the phone
Such
will
practical.
ring.
But you can gradually be firm that at this time I don't meet anyone. So you can make such rules. In the beginning they will criticize. They will say, what kind of lady and what kind of householder you are, all kinds of things. Afterwards they will stop. They will not come only. They won't come. Don't come. But if we want that people should come, then otherwise how I will get my son married and this man and all this, if this sort, see there are such social concerns also. If I don't go to their house, they will not come to my house. If I don't visit them when they are sick, they will not visit me. Then you go. But then when okay, don't come. Then they will also not demand that from you. We cannot please everyone. It is difficult. If I expect that I please everyone, nobody should be displeased. But that is difficult sometimes. So we have to be convinced about what we are doing. And if we have to do it, then we go ahead and do it. And if we are not wrong, they will understand. Not that we are outright insult people. No, we don't do that. That should not be our intention. And as best as possible, it should not come out from a sadhaka. But sometimes we have to speak firmly. That firmness is required.
Thank you.
No question.
This is probably a silly question, but I didn't grow up in this tradition, so number of practical things I never grew up with. The question relates to, when you enter a temple and they sound the bell, or for example when you're doing arti and you're doing the bell. I mean, obviously it's to evoke the Vayu or the Akashic elements, but could you talk a little about that? And talk about how we offer the 5 elements when we do the arti, little about that, whatever you can share about that.
It is, all this is very well planned. There are deep reasons for doing all this. See, according to Shastra, many things are done to drive away, to keep away certain negative elements away. So in the evenings and Sandhya time, some elements become very active. We cannot see them, but that's what they say. So there are prayers, arati, ringing the bell, blowing the conch, so many such things. The effect of all this is such that it keeps them at bay. So such reasons are there. In the temple, in the building of the temple also, all this is taken into account. How to attract sattvikta, purity, good vibes. How to keep those things away. In certain South Indian temples also you will find some faces of, all that on the door to keep them away. So all such things, even lighting the lamp, so many things. Lighting the lamp mainly is to show him light, that it is symbolic, that you because of whom the entire creation is illumined, and still I try to illumine you with this light. But don't take it as my audacity, but it is just my love and respect being shown to you. Plus in South Indian temples, they have the very traditional temples. The deity will be in dark, right inside the precincts, very, very. And the whole thing is very dark. They don't have this electricity. It's supposed to be very harsh upon the Ishvara. So in olden days, of course, it was not there. But even now, in traditional temples, you don't find these lights. And the image also, Bhagavan's Murti also will be made from black stone, granite or whatever. So you can't see anything. Then they show when they do Aarti, there are many wigs in that, wigs. And with that they show us the Alankara and the face and everything. But no bulb or tube light will be there. Just as nowadays we have in temples, but in traditional South Indian temples, Rameshwar and all that, you don't find them, to the best of my knowledge. And the entire temple building is, you require different kind of scholars for that. Even Shivalinga, about Shivalinga, I have not read much, but whatever little, it is nothing but energy. So much of energy is there. Then there are even Mercury Shivalings and so many things. So nothing but it attracts very pious energy towards it. So all this is there. It's all very big science. Everything is scientific that way. Camphor and dhupa, deepa, everything. All this keeps the atmosphere pious, drives. It's said, there is a mantra in the evening when the Sandhya time, we light a lamp, then we chant, Shubham karotu kalyanam, Arogyam dhana sampada, Shatru buddhi vinashaya, Deepa jyotir namostute. Shatru buddhi vinashaya. Some Shatru or some enemy may be trying to harm me. Please drive that away. So Deepa, Jyoti, I bow down to you. You yourself are Param Brahma. You yourself are nothing but Ishvara. You are Narayana. So that is why there is this, in certain homes also, certain temples also, they have this Akhanda Deepa. Akhanda Deepa Jyot. It's non-stop. The Deepa is going on. It may be going on for many years. Because Deepa itself is Ishvara. Particularly in Devi's temple. In Navratri also, some people, we also used to do that, but it's difficult to maintain. Now for 9 days and 9 nights, the Deepa will go on. So we try to maintain it. Akhanda Deepa. Akhanda it is called. Unbreakable, It goes on. In some temple, for ages together it is going on. There are reasons behind all of this. Very, very thorough. The whole thing is so thorough. My goodness, you just, it's amazing. Amazing. But we just go and, for us it suffices that Ishvara is there and we worship Him, do puja, bow down our heads to them, receive the grace, do as much as we can. But all this is there. Carry on. If there are no questions, we can have some bhajan. If there are no, if anybody has, then we will solve that. Yes.
I'll do one more question. So
Yeah.
this is another practical, tactical question, kind of as a follow-up from when you were saying that yogis don't let anything come out or come through them unless it's through self-control or permission. So if there are things that we're aware of within ourselves that we want to alter, we want to change, we want to improve, but it's happening so much on autopilot, what are some actual things we can do? Like, for example, let's say I know that I'm very judgmental, but I don't want to be judgmental, but it keeps happening. I can watch it, I can look at it, but is there anything else or anything more I can do to kind of accelerate that improvement in myself?
Say the last part again, because I didn't get it quite clearly.
No, so I was saying, so one tactic is when I do feel, let's say, judgmental thoughts or negative thoughts coming up, I can watch the thoughts. That's true, but it doesn't seem to be helping that much. So I keep being aware of it. I am aware of it when it happens, but it's not changing the fact that it's still happening. So what can I do?
See, to tell you the fact that it is the nature of the intellect to judge. It cannot but be judgmental. Adhyavasayatmika buddhihi. Buddhi is described, intellect is described as one who judges. If it cannot judge the situation, how will it decide what to do? So it is the nature of the intellect to judge whether it is cold or not. If I don't judge, then what? I have to judge. I have to understand. It looks like it is going to rain. We have to think, judge. But, so that is nothing wrong. But we should be, as far as people are concerned, we may have our idea that it seems to be like this. The person seems to be like this. Okay. But I don't form a bias. I'm open to see that he or she can be different. And even if I feel that's not something not proper, doesn't like me, this, etc., whatever, but I should wait and watch. Not just go by what I have judged. Because sometimes our judgments are wrong. Totally wrong. Sometimes we think that the person is like this, but the person happens to be very good. And in one or two experiences, we can't say anything. It can be very well wrong. Our reading can be wrong. So remain open. Remain open. Plus, always be ready to understand that even though the person seems to be like this now, the person can change also. But we form a judgment. That means if I feel that no, he's angry, but now 5 years have gone and he has changed. But I am not ready to see that. My judgment blocks me. Are 5 years? Why 5 years? Every day person changes. Every day a person can change if he or she wants to. Because everybody is struggling with themselves. Everybody is working with them. So, what I am trying to say is that my judgment need not be final. So, I should always be open. Open-minded. I am ready to change my opinion of others. In a given time, something happened and some bitterness has come, supposing. But I don't let it hold me against that person. I am ready to change. Plus, from my side, I always be very nice. Even though I am not receiving that from them, supposing. Even though I don't receive that good behavior, good words, they don't come across well with me, but still, if the relationship is to be changed, then I should work. I work. I love them in spite of what they are. In spite of what they are, this is not easy. Because I also have formed a certain bias, certain thing. How can I like him or her? How? It's not possible. But don't let that block you. Remain open. Because we should always value good relationships. Relationships with anyone should as best as possible, should be cordial, should be warm, should be loving. Because otherwise, we only will be disturbed. No, he deserves that. Arre bhai, he deserves or not, but what about you? By thinking about them, you are disturbed. Moment we think of someone, we get disturbed. We worry inside, what will happen if they will come? What will happen now? He is also there, she is there, whatever, This becomes a big block. Blocks are this. Inside the heart, the blocks, real blocks are this. They block the energy. My happiness is blocked by all this. Open them. Just open. From my side, it will be nothing but love. Nothing but warmth. Not easy. But that is the work I have to do. And let me tell you, that will change. Even if they don't want to change, this will change them. This is a sadhu. This is a saint. Saint is this. Saint means what? No hatred. Shankaracharya writes, in the 12th chapter, Adveshta sarvabhutanam, maitraha karuna evacha. These are the qualities of a wise man. Adveshta sarvabhutanam. He doesn't hate anyone. Not a single person. Not a single. Why? Because regardless of what he or she is, who am I? Who am I? That there was a Kapalika who came to kill him. He said, you have, see, this tantra, in tantra, they do all kinds of homas and everything. So he wanted the head of someone who was very virtuous. So he came to kill Shankaracharya and says, I want you. Others will not give themselves, but you are a saint. So you give me your head. Shankaracharya said, wait a minute. Don't talk about this when my students are around. They will not allow you. So come when nobody is there. Just imagine. He says, come when nobody is there. Then at such and such a time, he called that Kapalika. And he said, you behead me. That fellow was about to do that. Just imagine, offering himself. He says, if my head is going to give you something, then I don't mind. But one of his students, Padmapada, came to know. Padmapada Acharyaji, his student, he had some siddhis. So he came to know about this. And he was a devotee of Nrsimha. Nrsimha, East god, you must have heard, lion-headed, half lion, half human being. That is Nrsimha avatara of Vishnu. He was worshipper of, devotee of Nrsimha. So he prayed. He came to know that my teacher is in difficulty. So he prayed and he invoked Nrsimha. And moment he did that, Nrsimha appeared before that Kapalika and killed him. He killed him. And Shankaracharya was saved. Nrsimha himself came and killed that Kapalika. This is an incident in Shankaracharya's life. But what I am saying is, this is what saint is. This is what they are. In incorrigible cases will not change. There are so much of hardness sometimes. So hard they have become. When you cross a certain boundary in adharma, then that hardness comes. It is, very close to becoming jada. Just as these things are inanimate. Nothing touches. Nothing happens. Human being, if they live their life in that way, one day they will become like this. Yes. Nothing will happen. No sensitivity. Whatever happens, their heart doesn't melt. We don't want to reach that stage. Some people have become like that. They have not made any progress. On the contrary, they have gone down. They will now become jadam, stavara, thavara. But we try to change. This is high ideals, lofty ideals. Lofty. That I remain lovable. Perhaps I may have to do something. I do it, but inside there is nothing but love. Like for Devi it is said, for Durga, Chitte Krupa Samara Nishturata. When she was killing Mahishasura and all the demons, that time it is said, Devatas were singing about her, that you could have killed these demons by just your sankalpa, willpower. Devi can do that. But why did you have to come in the battle and fight with them and then kill them with your weapons? Why did you do that? By sitting, you are Maya Shakti, Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, everything you are Shakti. You could have just done a sankalpa. May this be over. But why did you do this? Because, she says, that so that in the battlefield, when they get killed by your weapons, then they will go straight to heaven. Because your weapons will purify them. They will take away. That means in the battlefield you appear very cruel. She's all fierce, in the battlefield. You must have seen that picture of Kali and Durga and all that. Looks very fierce. But in the heart, like a mother. Samara Nishtura Chitte Krupa. Like mother, sometimes she's very harsh and cruel with child. He doesn't do lessons and everything, then very hard, very strict. Is she cruel? She is cruel to be kind. She is cruel, but inside she is kind. Because the child needs that. When it doesn't take medicine, then pull everything and force it. And your mom, I don't like you. You may like or not like, but you will have to take this. Very clear. But still mother. Mother is mother. So, we have to become like that. Atma is like that. Atma doesn't mean Satchit Ananda. Doesn't mean in Vyavahara Atma has to be like this. Translation of Atma in Vyavahara is this. You understand? Nirguna is fine. But when will we understand that Nirguna in Vyavahara when we are like this? Because nothing but Atma. So, in Vyavahara, when translated, this knowledge when translated in life, then what? Nothing but love, nothing but compassion. Then it is Atma. Not easy. See, don't think that Vyavahara has nothing to do with Paramartha. They are connected. My life should not be just anything. It has to be in line with what I am. In line with what I am. No? So it is this. Okay. One bhajan, last, and we'll conclude. It's already 8:45. Sahadeva, will you sing?
I'm happy to sing, yeah.
Come. Come.
Hari Hari Bol, Hari 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 Bol, Hari Hari Bol, Hari Hari
Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol, Hari 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 Bol,
Hari Hari Bol, Hari 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 Bol.
Keshavam Madhava Govinda Bol.
Keshava Madhava Govinda Bol.
Keshava Madhava Govinda Bol.
Keshava Madhava Govinda Bol.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari.
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 Hey Nata Narayana Vasudeva. Hey Nata
Narayana Vasudeva.
Hey Nata Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Hari Hari Bol, Hari 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 Bol.
Hari Hari Bol, Hari 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 Bol.
Keshava Madhava Govinda 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 Bol.
Shri Krishna Govinda Hare Murari.
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 Hey Nata Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath Narayana Vasudeva.
Hey Nata Narayana Vasudeva.
He Nath 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 Narayana Vasudeva. Very good, very good. Shall we conclude now? Oh, huh? Alia, want to? Yeah, sing.
Yeah. Thank you. Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho.
Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho.
Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva, 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 Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Shiva, 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 Shambho. Shiva 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 Shambho.
Shiva 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 Shambho. Shiva 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 Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Shiva 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 Shambho. Shiva 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 Shambho.
Shiva 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 Shambho. Shiva 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 Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Mahadeva Shambho. Mahadeva Shambho.
Shiva 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 Shambho. Shiva 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 Shambho.
Shiva 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 Shambho. Shiva 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 Shambho. Very good. Wow. Okay. Om Purnamatav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.